what, I've never been in weather like this.
Pucks in the net and money in the bank. Downtown Sioux City getting a much-needed shot in the arm from young hockey players.
And an effort to repeal the Electoral College gaining momentum. Your KCAU 9 News at 10 starts now.
We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 10.
And thanks for being with us on a Friday evening. I'm Tim Seaman.
And I'm Sophie Erber. A windy 24 hours is over, and travel across western Iowa is slowly getting back to normal tonight.
Meanwhile, ice is exactly what dozens of aspiring hockey players are looking forward to at the Tyson Event Center.
KCAU 9's Hannah Adamson explaining how players from as far away as California are helping give the COVID-crushed economy a boost here in our top story at 10.
Amid a snowy start, an exciting weekend ahead for the Tyson Event Center. The Midwest Hockey Development Youth Tournament beginning a 4-day run in the building.
But some of the best U16 teams in the country are here in Siouxland this weekend.
Partnering with the Sioux City Musketeers, the Illinois organization bringing 20 AAA teams from across the country to Sioux City.
We have California, Maine, Colorado, Texas, Florida.
Giving talented young athletes the chance to shine on the ice.
For them to come to a USHL city and play in front of USHL coaches and USHL scouts, it's just a great opportunity for the kids.
These teams not only putting pucks in the net, but money in the bank for hotels and restaurants still fighting an uphill battle against the coronavirus.
They're all staying, 3-4 nights in our local hotels and eating at our local establishments and providing a much needed, economic jolt.
It's well into six figures when you put on an event like this.
A welcome change of pace for downtown businesses and the Tyson after almost a year of canceled concerts.
We did one of these on a smaller scale at the beginning of November, and now we have this one here, and I think that we're going to see probably 4 or 5 more of these between now and April.
While the event is free to the public, COVID-19 guidelines are still in effect.
We have all our seats marked off, much like we do in Musketeers hockey games. And wear a mask, find a seat, and watch some of the best talent in the country play hockey.
In Sioux City, Hannah Adamson, KCAU 9 News.
Well, that blizzard warning that plagued Siouxland over the last day has expired, but not before plenty of driving difficulties. While major roads in town stayed mostly passable, rural roads were a problem. Packed snow making for slick surfaces with drifts covering many roadways. Drivers we talked with said that it was the worst that they'd seen, and it's over.
I'll tell you what, I've never been in weather like this. It is crazy out here.
How so?
Well, the winds were blowing. Could have been maybe 50, 60, if not more miles an hour.
But the worst is over, and road conditions will continue to improve as plows make progress in those rural areas.
One person now hospitalized after a crash near Norfolk. The crash happened roughly 12 miles east of town on Highway 275. An eastbound car struck from behind by a semi. The 68-year-old driver of the car taken to an area hospital for treatment. The 64-year-old semi driver was uninjured in the incident. Now, officials say there were whiteout conditions at the time of this crash. A portion of that highway was shut down for roughly 30 minutes to clear that scene.
This is the snowiest month of the year, so a reminder tonight about safe driving. Iowa State Trooper John Farley tells us just being careful is important. Just be careful in case there's ice, especially underneath that snow on highways at this time of the year. Also, that if you can stay on the heavily traveled portions of the roadway, you'll always be safer.
And if you're out in the unprotected areas, out in the rural interstates, after the bridges and overpasses, you might see some drifting along the shoulders or even across the roadway. Make sure that, again, you're slowing down. Don't try to swerve to avoid them. It's best just to go through them.
A reminder to take it slow and keep an emergency winter kit with you at all times while you're driving. Make sure distractions are limited as well. Stay safe during these difficult driving days. Well, early this morning, a man broke into a bar in Parker, South Dakota, and now police are investigating. The Turner County Sheriff's Office releasing these security camera images of the suspect. That break-in happening around 4 o'clock in the morning at Kelly's Bar. Officials say that the man was inside for roughly 11 minutes before leaving on foot. The suspect notably wearing a white sweatshirt with a large Columbia logo. Anyone with information is asked to notify the Turner County Sheriff's Office. Their number is 605-297-3225.
The suspect from an incident in Macy, Nebraska, now apprehended. On Thursday, the Omaha tribe warned Macy residents that the suspect, Jarrell Tyndall, was at large. Officials now saying he was arrested without incident this afternoon. He will soon be in federal custody.
The Sioux County Sheriff's Office has identified the man killed in a traffic accident near Alton yesterday. According to a release, 18-year-old Josiah Gonzalez of Granville died after losing control of his vehicle and then entering the eastbound lane of Highway 10 near Alton. He collided with an oncoming pickup. The driver of that truck only suffered minor injuries. The release does not say if winter weather driving conditions may have played a part in that crash. The Sioux City Community School District today releasing its weekly COVID-19 report.
And good news, since Monday, no cases have been reported among students who attended school. One staff member, however, did test positive. Let's take a quick look now at the latest COVID-19 numbers across Siouxland. Woodbury County health officials recording 25 new cases in 24 hours. The good news is that there are 54 recoveries. The county's positivity rate down to roughly 14%.
Out of Nebraska, Thurston County with 7 new positive cases, a county with about 990 total cases. And from South Dakota, Clay County reports 12 new cases tonight. The positivity rate there is 8.5%.
Several Test Iowa sites were closed today because of the weather, and now they won't be reopening until Tuesday of next week. Those who did have appointments scheduled will receive an email from the Test Iowa infrastructure and can reschedule. Sites in Cedar Rapids, Davenport, and in Waterloo, they say they plan to stay open as scheduled, but that could change depending on local conditions. And of course, Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which means all sites across the state will be closed.
Dr. Anthony Fauci criticizing the initial rollout of the coronavirus vaccine across the country tonight.
You've got to have a good flow, and you've got to be able to expeditiously get it into people's arms once it gets to the place that has been distributed to. Unfortunately, that has not worked as smoothly as possible.
One of the true medical faces of the coronavirus saying that President-elect Joe Biden will be discussing his plans to ensure further coordination between the federal government and the states on administering that vaccine. He also confirms that he believes it would be possible to do 100 million vaccinations in the first 100 days of the Biden presidency. There's another effort to repeal the Electoral College that's gaining some momentum, the National Popular Vote movement.
States can sign a compact to agree to cast their electoral votes for the popular vote winner. Our Washington correspondent Jesse Turner reports.
It's even more important now.
Tennessee Democrat Steve Cohen says the deadly riot at the U.S. Capitol strengthened his push to abolish the Electoral College.
We've never seen a case more descriptive and more scary than this one, where the politicians tried to control the election of the president over the will of the people.
Cohen says Congress's role in the election process is unnecessary.
It allows the House of Representatives and the Senate to possibly get involved in how the election is determined. That should never be the case.
Cohen reintroduced his constitutional amendment this week to replace the Electoral College with a popular vote system.
If everybody's vote counts and counts equally, candidates would go to every state.
I think their votes count now.
John Malcolm with the Heritage Foundation argues abolishing the Electoral College would give more power to larger, more liberal cities.
You would end up having a lot of states who have very important interests that are involved in elections. Their voices would be completely marginalized, if not ignored completely.
Malcolm says Cohen's proposal would also not limit controversy and potential civil unrest.
Well, that might take the target off of the backs of some Congress members, but it would put it on the backs of a lot of local elected officials, and American citizens.
Changing the Constitution isn't easy. Cohen's proposal needs support from 2/3 of Congress and 3/4 of the states. In Washington, Jesse Tenor, KCAU 9 News.
Meanwhile, the National Rifle Association has filed for bankruptcy protection. The agency now seeking to incorporate itself in Texas instead of in the state of New York. The announcement coming months after New York's Attorney General sued the NRA over claims that top executives illegally diverted tens of millions of dollars for lavish personal trips. The coronavirus pandemic also forced the NRA last year to lay off dozens of employees, cancel its national convention, and scuttle some fundraising. Now, the NRA's bankruptcy filing listed between $100 million and $500 million in assets and between $100 million and $500 million in liabilities. The group's former advertising agency is owed roughly $1.2 million.
Nebraska state government collected slightly less money than expected last month. The Nebraska Department of Revenue showing net tax receipts of $436 million for the month. That compares to the official estimate of $440 million. Net sales and use and individual income tax collections were lower than projected, while net miscellaneous and corporate income taxes came in higher. Nebraska still has collected more revenue than expected in the current fiscal year, which began July 1st, roughly 8% more. The state reports net tax receipts of nearly $3 billion.
The national eviction moratorium set to expire at the end of this month. City officials are preparing renters for that day. Now, if possible, renters should currently be paying their landlords or their property owners, even if it is not the full amount. We have more tips from experts on how to avoid eviction right now on our website. That's SiouxlandProud.com or the KCAU 9 News app.
Time to check in with meteorologist Marcus Beasley, but before we do that, a look at some of the work Mother Nature has done in the last few days. A look behind us. This is a drift in front of one home that was sent in to us tonight. Anthony Osborne has some work with his snowblower. He told us he just got it fixed, so it's good to go.
Good thing, and I hope that snowblower is in that garage that was snowed in by that drift. And this is actually submitted by one of our own that works here. This is his backyard out in Jefferson, and again, those drifts out in his backyard just it looks very beautiful, but really, if you were out on the roads, drifts are not something you want to encounter much of, Tim.
This is the I-29 interchange near Singing Hills Boulevard, I believe. You can see the roadways there are clear, so that's all good news.
Yes, road crews tonight, all throughout the evening, you could see them really out in full force, making sure people in Siouxland, Marcus, could get to where they needed to, because we've been advising for the past 24 hours or so they should stay home.
That's right, and even though the roads may appear to be clear at times, you still have to be careful. There could be some slippery spots out there overnight tonight as temperatures are below freezing and will continue to be below freezing throughout the night tonight. Taking a look outside from the KCAU 9 studio, brought to you by the Port Neal Welding Company, we are seeing quiet conditions outside now. The snow, it has stopped. The wind, it is beginning to calm down, but still, temperatures are below freezing, and we could see some slippery spots develop on the roadways overnight tonight. As far as snowfall here throughout Siouxland, it is divided from east to west, or from west to east, however you want to look at the map. As you head into western Siouxland, really west of I-29, that's where we've had snow around an inch or less. The further west that you go, the less snow that you'll see. As you head towards center Siouxland, 20% chance of a few snow flurries. 33 Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, upper 30s, and then a bit of a cool down for Friday and Saturday, back into the upper 20s. Tim and Sophie.
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus.
Well, getting a good night's sleep has multiple benefits, of course, but some more obvious than others.
We'll explore why it's just so crucial next.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Tim Seaman, Sophie Erber, meteorologist Marcus Beasley, and sports director Jake Jones. This is KCAU 9 News at 10.
For some people, a healthy lifestyle usually means eating the right foods and occasionally going to the gym.
Occasionally. But another important factor in your health is how much sleep you're actually getting. Sophie Heineman shows us just how much it matters.
Getting to bed is an activity that seems like it should be easy to do. And even though adequate sleep is crucial, for many, bedtime isn't always easy.
It affects your physical ability, it affects your mental ability, it affects everything that you do throughout the day, that sleep-awake cycle.
Family life specialist Susan Illig says a good bedtime routine can make all the difference when it comes to actually falling asleep.
So you're going to have your routine as a parent, you're going to have your routine as a child. And so you're going to help model that routine for your child. You're going to help them understand the value of getting this routine, because sleep is very, very important.
Heather Krause and her husband follow a strict routine with their 3-year-old son. They've been doing it since he was born.
I would rock him in the rocking chair and feed him a bottle or breastfeed him, and my husband would sit on the floor and read to us.
To this day, she says reading books before bed is still a part of her son's bedtime routine, along with bath time and dimmed lights.
Experts also recommend shutting off screen time about 45 minutes to an hour before bedtime.
Illig says routines provide predictability, leading to more calmness when it's time for sleep.
You don't want to have an overly tired child because you think, oh, they're going to be so tired that their head is just going to hit the pillow and they're going to be asleep. That's not what happens.
In fact, she says an overly tired child or adult can actually have a tougher time falling asleep.
We would try, like, maybe if we let him stay up a little later, he'll sleep longer in the morning. And that never worked. He would always wake up earlier than he usually did. And so we really learned that, like, if he goes to bed on time, he'll stay asleep throughout the night, he'll sleep longer in the morning.
But when life happens and routines get interrupted, don't be too hard on yourself.
Don't beat yourself up as a parent. Just say, okay, you know what, we're going to do the best we can for tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to try and do better.
Now got an excuse to stay in bed just a little bit longer this weekend.
I know, it validates you, right?
Iowa, Nebraska taking their rivalry onto the wrestling mat tonight.
We have the highlights from this top 10 matchup with Jake, still to come after the break.
Schedule not getting any easier. Those Cyclones down in Texas tomorrow taking on number 6 Baylor with a 7 o'clock tip. So some pretty big games coming up, but how about the Muskies?
I was going to say, and how about those uniforms, the old school, you know, the 3-state thing?
I like when they do that.
Jacob and I were in the back talking about those. Those need to be primary. Those are awesome.
They should sell them to the public.
Yeah.
Those would go quick. Thanks, Jake. And we'll check in for a final look at the forecast. First, to take you outside in Siouxland. As we wind down this work week, we're also getting a reprieve from our blast of winter weather. Really, it was the wind that was our top story.
Right. We've had a lot of wind here the last 24 to 36 hours or so. It is beginning to calm down a little bit now. Overnight tonight, we will still see occasional gusts of 30 miles per hour or so. But generally, I think tonight we're going to see that wind really calm down compared to what we have seen. 20 degrees tonight, so we can still see some blowing snow out there as well. And roads could become slippery overnight as well. Tomorrow, 30 degrees for your high temperature, mostly cloudy skies and dry weather here throughout Siouxland.
All right, look forward to the weekend.
Yes, and have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.